Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Redux, and welcome to just kind of a quick little video. I'm going to tell you why I use Macs at all, because apparently some people are confused about that. Even though it's really quite obvious if you look at what's in front of you. I don't know why anyone's confused, but I guess they are, so it's up to me to explain why. So, why do I use a Mac? I use an i9 MacBook Pro, the one that came out in 2019, the 16-inch one, which is the last Intel one ever made. Why do I use the Intel one instead of the new like M2s or whatever? Well, I don't. In fact, I have an M2. It's right here. I have the desktop M2 Pro Mac Mini. This is what I edit most of the videos on because it renders videos way faster than any PC that I have. And as far as I know, any PC that exists through like, you know, hardware encoding, and it uses like way less power doing it. It uses probably about 98% less power for the same workload. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use that. It also edits a lot better. There's no stuttering, because on my normal gaming PC that has a 2070 Super in it, by the way, so a pretty damn good graphics card, the video stutters because it's not really meant for 4K 60 editing. I agree that if I got like a 4070 or something, it could probably do it, but wouldn't be as stable, and it definitely would be incredibly inefficient, and it would probably break down at some point, which my Mac never does. So yeah, I actually do have a 4060 machine that has a 13900K in it as well, which is actually right below where the camera is, and that's the encoder box. That's specifically for AV1 encoding. So it's the 4060 and there's 4, and it's about equivalent to the 2070 Super in terms of performance, so no gains there, even 2 generations up. So that's reason 1, video editing and efficiency. Here's reason 2, Windows is ass and Linux is infinitely times worse. Every single time I use Windows, I have a bad experience with it. And every time I use Linux, I have multiple cascading bad experiences that end with the OS being bricked for no reason. Last time I used Linux Mint was 2022, and I put it on my main PC, and well, it worked great for one thing, playing Minecraft 1.5.2. Everything else was a pain in the ass, and then I went to bed. I came back and the computer wouldn't boot. So I had to put in the Windows SSD to be able to boot into anything, which was really stupid. Pretty much always been like that with Linux for me. I've never had a good experience with it, so I can't rely on it. It is not a reliable enough system. And neither is Windows. I can't rely on it anymore. It's just so broken and bloated and full of crap that, like, okay, for example, this laptop, I only keep it around here for like checking certain things on the internet when I don't have my MacBook around. I just keep it on the couch just in case I want to, you know, look something up. This has a quad-core CPU, by the way, and it's from 2018. The screen is crap. It's 1366 by 768. I've actually made a video on this machine. And the worst thing about this computer is it runs Windows. If it ran macOS, it would do fine. But because it runs Windows, every time I open it, it does a bunch of bullshit in the background that slows it down for about 30 minutes, which by the time it's finally ready to use again and speediful enough for normal use, there's no point. I would have gone and got my MacBook after like 2 minutes because of how slow this thing is. And this has an SSD. There's no hard drive in here. I know it came with a hard drive, but there's an SSD in here. It's pretty damn fast. And well, there's no reason why Windows should be doing this. I'm sure there is a reason for it, but it's not good enough to slow down my machine for 30 minutes while it's dicking around in the background. macOS actually does have some of that, but it's done in a couple seconds, no matter what machine you're on, unless you're on a hard drive, in which case it might take like 2 minutes, but after that you're fine. Do whatever. So yeah, that's reason 2. Windows is AIDS, and Linux is worse. Reason 3 is, well, the machines. They're just the best. I mean, I'm not talking about performance. If you want raw performance, you get a desktop PC. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the user experience, the way the machines are built, the way they can be carried, so they're, you know, portable machines, and again, power efficiency. Pretty much everything across the board except for performance, apart from like AV stuff, is through the roof compared to any PC. And I'm guessing that's just because the Apple engineers actually think about what they're doing, and they don't all come from I guess they all come from the same factory, but every PC laptop, if you didn't know, pretty much comes out of the same factory. It's the same company that designs them. I think manufacturers just contract it out, and they say, here's what we want, here's what we need, make it, and then they make it. They don't really put any thought into it. Or at least if they do, it's hidden in places like, they have 3 USB 3 ports on this, which is awesome. This also has the Ethernet jack and the power port on the back of the device instead of the side. That's actually surprisingly awesome for usability purposes, because I always keep the machine plugged in, and you know, moving it side to side, I won't pull the connector out, because there's only a limited movement if this is on your lap and you're using it, because the power connector can come up pretty easily. So that's good that you can't really pull it out unless you really wrench it. But yeah, the Ethernet being on the back is good too, because, well, I actually use my laptops through Ethernet. I don't really use Wi-Fi very much, apart from like if I'm not sitting down stationary. If I'm moving around, I'll use Wi-Fi, but other than that, I'll plug it in through Ethernet, because I'll have Ethernet wherever I am if I'll be there for more than like a half an hour. So that's thoughtful, that's good design. The problem is, that's not enough. There needs to be that kind of good thought everywhere to make it worth it, to make it better than a Mac and its design. The Mac design is so much better that it's not even, there's no comparison. You know, one's metal, one's plastic. One has a headphone jack, the other doesn't. One has a high-res screen that, you know, doesn't have stupid scaling issues, the other does. It's a night and day difference, and I don't know why anyone's confused about this. I made a video which I got a lot of hate for about 2 years ago when I tried like 5 different $2,700 laptops, PC laptops, gaming laptops, and what I found out is they're all built like shit. And some of them are faulty out of the box. 2 of them, the keyboards would double type right out of the box. The first 5 minutes using it, it was double typing already. The fuck? Can't the manufacturers test the goddamn machines before they get to the consumers? I can't believe that's something that needs to be said. So that was my first experience with 2 of those machines. $2,700. The performance of those was out of the roof, but they were built like trash. They had soft plastic, which doesn't feel very good. It feels really, really, really cheap, and it's plastic. They had sharp edges everywhere, which were very much in the design intent. I mean, it's not like there's sprue bits, it's just there's sharp edges. Like they cut into, like if you try to carry them, it'll cut into your goddamn armpit. That's not cool. What the fuck? No one should design a machine like that. But Alienware did, and Omen didn't do much better either. And actually the performance of the Omen was actually way, way worse, despite having pretty much the exact same specs. So I don't know what the hell's going on with Windows machines. They're just all trash, unless you do it yourself, in which case you'll make a mistake and then it'll break. So yeah, Windows machines, not the best option. Except if you're gaming, in which case there's really no other better option. But if you already have a Mac, it's up to the devs to not be either lazy, incompetent, or just not willing to make a Mac port of whatever they're doing. But the good thing with Minecraft and Java is that whatever you're doing, it should be compatible with everything else. If you have a mod and you have a loader, so like Forge or NeoForge or whatever the fuck, if you're loading with Fabric, God save you, you can install that on a Mac, because the installer's a jar file. You can just open it, it'll open an installer. And then you can, well, install it and then put the mod in the mods folder as usual and just do it the exact same way. The only difference is kind of where the folders are and some tricks you might have to know depending on how high your security on your Mac is set to. But if you're just a kid in college or even in like middle school or whatever that was just given a computer for school, so like a Mac for school, which is very typical. Now it's probably a Chromebook, but I'm not even gonna talk about those shit and things. If they're given a Mac, they're expected to use that Mac and only that Mac. They don't have money to buy a freaking gaming PC. They use what they have. And if they got an M1 MacBook, they have an M1 MacBook, and there's nothing you devs can do about it. So how about we all make everyone happy and just make sure everything works with everything else? Because that's the right way to do things. The wrong way to do things is to say, oh, these people aren't worth it, and then not develop for that platform. That's a really shitty way of doing things. And no one should think that way except for big corporations that are only in it for the money. If you're only in it for the money, develop for the PC, but I don't approve. Okay, that was stupid, but yeah, basically, it's wrong to expect everyone to have a PC or Windows, which just breaks on its own for no reason in order to play certain things, especially Minecraft and mods with it. Macs have certain issues, yes, but they're not hard enough to where no one can solve them. If you put your mind to it, and if you're not lazy, you can fix your issues, and then, you know, it'll work on that computer. And if you fix it for one Mac, well, there might be one other that'll have a problem, then you fix that, and then you're good. It's not rocket surgery, and I can't believe, I don't know why this isn't I don't know why this needs to be said. It seems very obvious. For how much effort and how much pride is in the modding community, I can expect that someone could figure this out and then do it. And not just someone, I think everyone has this capability. I think everyone has it in them to plow forth and fix the issues with their software. I'm calling mod software in this case, so that it works on everything. Even Linux, maybe. Even though that's not really an OS, that's more of I don't know. It's not really an operating system yet, meaning you can't really use it as an OS. So I'm not even gonna call it an operating system because it's not what it is. Like, sure, some people will figure out how to do it. A lot of people have. A lot of people use it every day, but they're missing out on a lot, and they can't do a lot, and they will eventually switch to either macOS or Windows when they're fed up with it, as I have become fed up with Windows. This has been our Redux. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next live stream, short or video, whatever that may be. Thanks for watching, guys. I am the Cringe Lord, and I'll see you all next time. Merci, bye.